What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? So over here in the Sony world, we got some new recent news we need to look at here. And it's not necessarily bashing. This is just looking at reality and seeing what the hell is going on. So it says Sony has formed a new first-party studio within PlayStation Studios. Dark Outlaw Games comes from the studio head and director Jason Blundell or Blundell. Um, The interesting thing about this is them realizing how much in-house Microsoft has now, and I think they realize too how much Nintendo has now. I think they probably start watching some of these videos and then realizing that, you know what, let's also think what Westerners are thinking and pay attention to the community now and actually start learning from other communities too that are not PlayStation related. And realize that yeah, you do need better first party games. Definitely all the cancellations. We're going to read the article about this. Then we're going to read another article about something else they're teaming up with as well, too, which is quite interesting. Going down here, we already see people are already just, a little bit worried. Just in general, it says for more over-the-shoulder single-player linear narrative boring games. And I think that's what he meant to say. That's okay though. I know what he meant. The PlayStation exclusive template. So they do kind of have that runner up third person with the side little character always talking with you. Like you start to see the underlying formula that surfaces every time over and over again. Though they are good games, but they do need to get more creative for sure. And I think they need to get in the FPS bracket and really make some good FPS games because they have a lot of third person. And we're going to see how what I'm talking about leads into this article here soon, where we're just taking a look at some of these comments, which I think is funny. Another studio to have their games canceled and studios closed shortly after. Man, people are coming in heavy. Another one getting canceled. Are we actually going to see a game this time? Like, this is actually showing you that what we say when we show people, it actually works because they're starting to see too. And there's people that are seeing this as well that Sony complains about high cost of studios in California. Also, Sony. So it's just deviation games restructured. But we get the idea here. That's very interesting. Now let's go to this article. The new first-party studios comes from one of the minds behind Treyarch's beloved Call of Duty Zombies. So that's a first-person shooter expertise there. This gives you an idea that maybe they're going to be going into the FPS category. We're going to see this with another article too. Let's go ahead and take a highlight real quick. Gears of War EDA co-developer People Can Fly signs new project with Sony, codename Project Delta. So we see that they're going to want to focus on some shooters. This is pretty obvious. Because Naughty Dog's not doing it with Intergalactic. That's going to be something different, right? So where is Sony's shooters coming from if the Killzone devs are not doing anything right as well? So yeah. Sony has formed a new first-party studio. Former Treyarch co-studio head Blundell, or Blundell, however you say it, was one of the lead creators of Call of Duty Zombies mode before leaving Activision in 2020. So he's no longer there after 13 years. So he knows what he's doing. He would then serve as one of the co-founders of Deviation Games. That's why people were saying that. Deviation Games didn't get a chance to release its debut project, an original IP that was set to be exclusive to PlayStation platforms. In an interview with Jeff Gerstmann, Blundell confirmed that the new studio is staffing up and that he would have more to share on the studio's first project in the future. So this isn't coming this year or next year, most likely. Something maybe PS6 or right before the end in 2027. He said, I've had some amazing opportunity to create a new studio within PlayStation Studios for Sony. So this has been going on the whole time. The studio is called Dark Outlaw. We've been working away in the shadows for a while. Okay, so they've been doing this for a while. When we've got something to talk about, we'll step out into the light. Interesting. It's such a privilege to be able to do it with Sony as a new first party studio. Let's hope so, because they need to show some sense of organization. Microsoft has done it. Now it's their turn, because as of lately, it's just been dismantling and chaos and division, and it's not good. Sony doesn't start up first party studios all the time. So to have that privilege is humbling. Maybe if you said that before all this stuff, yeah, but let's see what happens. And, they got new leadership now. We're going to see. It takes time to unfold in the long term. Lundell wouldn't confirm where the studio is in terms of production schedule, other than the studio has been going on for a little bit of time. It's about getting the team to gel, he continued. I'm a programmer at heart, so let's test those assumptions. Is it working? You're trying to hit that escape velocity. Lundell also confirmed he will serve as studio head and director for Dark Outlaw Games. Deviations was reportedly over 100 strong in 2021 when it signed a deal with Sony. At the time of its announcement, the studio told Game Industry Business that PlayStation deal ensured complete financial security for years and years to come, but the studio closed in 2024. So I guess they're taking some of that leftover staff and put them there. But that's interesting that they said that Sony had told them they ensured complete financial security for years and years to come. Years and years and years. That sounds like 5 to 10 years. Within 3 years after that, they were closed down. Kind of interesting, huh? Yeah. Well, they lie a lot. The corporations will do that. So that's interesting. And then right here is where the interview is at. But that's an hour and something long, and I don't think they're gonna put us to the right position. But it's here if you guys ever want to check that out. Now, getting over to the next article. This is about what Sony's been doing lately. We're gonna catch up on that here. Gears of War E-Day, a co-developer, People Can Fly, which they also did Outriders, by the way. So they've grown since Judgment. Outriders was a good game. I got 1,000 on that on Game Pass when they had that day one, which was nice. They signed a new project deal with Sony called Project Delta. That's 8 known projects in the works at the Bulletstorm studio. So we don't know when this is going to come out. Developer of Bulletstorm and co-developer of Gears of War E-Day, which they're assistant on that, by the way, lately with the Coalition, People Can Fly, has signed a deal with Sony Interactive Entertainment to develop a new game codenamed Project Delta. This comes with a report published by People Can Fly describing the agreement, which stipulates Project Delta will be made as a work-for-hire game, but does not provide further description of the project. People Can Fly is currently developing a large number of projects with similar code names, including Project Gemini with Square Enix, which saw 30 developers laid off last year, Project Echo with Crafton, Project Red, seemingly with Sony. So they have another IP with Sony, which People Can Fly announced just yesterday would be its final VR project. Yeah, you guys are going to have to wait on that. Focus on video games. Just last December, the studio announced it was supporting work on its in-progress Project Victoria and scaling down another in-development game, Project Bifrost. Prior to that, in April, it announced that it would be canceling Project Dagger, which was supposed to be an action-adventure title in partnership with Take-Two. This still leaves People Can Fly with 8 projects in the works, while we know, of course, including the upcoming Gears of War E-Day in partnership with the Coalition. So they ain't resting a day, damn. I don't think they're a massive studio. We don't have a release date on that one yet, though the Square Enix partnership game, Project Gemini, was last known to be due out in 2026. So, yeah, there we have it. This is interesting. So I think what Sony is doing, like I said again, is they're trying to strengthen their shooter portfolio now. Definitely with the Concord disaster. Destiny having Bungie is not doing anything for you. You're not doing Killzone. SOCOM, where's that at? Resistance, where's that at? Right? Days Gone is finally maybe getting a sequel, right? Because Last of Us Online was canceled. You see what I mean? So it's like, where's your shooter games at? These two right here are definitely going to be shooter projects. And I seriously think they need to cancel Fair Game. Guys, they can't release that game. Don't do it, Sony. Oh boy, if you release Fair Game, I don't have any hopes for it. You know what I mean? This is just like to just talk about like what's going to be going on, what could be seeing in the future. I don't think Last of Us 3 is done. I think that they still want to get that up and going eventually again and use whatever resources you did for The Last of Us Online and kind of put that into The Last of Us 3 multiplayer and kind of sync them together. Obviously that's not going to be till PlayStation 6, but we see now that I think that they realize it's time to strengthen the shooter brand because they used to have some strong effect with it. There's no Uncharted no more either. You know what I mean? So it's like all their shooters have disappeared. What do you have left for that? You got those IPs around too, like Siphon Filter, you know what I mean? Warhawk. I mean, they've had Mag back then. They had PlanetSide. I mean, they had some shooters, you know what I mean? It's like it just all disappeared. So I got to do something about that, right? I mean, guys, think about it. What else are they going to be releasing? What have they been releasing lately? There hasn't been any of that. I mean, just a bunch of remasters that, people just kind of tired of seeing in a way. So, um, that's my take pretty much with this. And I think after seeing like how strong Microsoft's forefront is, they're going to have to strengthen their in-house because it's the future. You can't sell hardware forever. You know what I mean? It's still going to be around a bit, and I don't want it to go away in a sense, but you're not making any money off of that, then you have to look elsewhere. And if you have a strong in-house, then you get to decide the budget and you take most of the income. It's not somebody else's game. You know what I mean? So yeah, they're going to have to look for Microsoft to feed them this year. They don't have a choice because the only thing they have is Kojima's timed Death Stranding, but that's going to be coming to PC very quick and coming to Xbox and coming to the Switch too. So that's what I think about that. And Ghost of Yote, well, I don't see that coming out in the next few months, right? So Ghost of Yote is a fall game. It has to be because they're not going to launch that close next to Death Stranding, knowing that's going to be June, and we're already halfway through March, right? Do you think they're just going to shadow drop Ghost in April or May, and then put no? They don't put PlayStation games that close to each other like that. They're big ones. So Ghost of Yote is going to have to be a fall game. Think about it. It is, and they're delaying it and trying to make it as best as possible right now. So that's why we're seeing more stuff on Death Stranding, and that's getting the highlight first because they can have that timed exclusive. Because we know Kojima took the rights to Death Stranding and he owns it now. So that's why you saw it go to Xbox and it was on PC and all that other stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. All right, y'all. Doing a different type of video here. As you know, there's going to be all sorts of stuff coming on this channel. Glad to do it. And I know you guys are going to enjoy the entertainment stuff too. All right, y'all. Peace out. Have a great day.